Okay, we have a silver 1, no, silver 3, bronze 1, Emma Frost. So I am going to comment mostly on like the positioning type things because I don't have as much experience on Emma Frost just yet. But I think at this rank, what matters more than anything is positioning and understanding the push and pull. So that being said, we're just gonna jump right into this.
4, 3, 2. You have to stop them from securing the mission area.
Follow my lead. Or
Walk
don't.
around it. Yep.
I really don't care.
That one hurts.
There's a little bit of wasted time there. That was good. There you go. Keep the pressure up. Keep the pressure up on Thor next.
I was fine. Thank you.
Your team got a pick, which is good. So it means you have pressure. You're fully charged. Kill him. Yep. You didn't really need diamond form there, but it might work out. Good kill. Good hit. Break it. In those moments, just release your diamond form and immediately go right back to doing damage. Just because it hasn't ended yet doesn't mean it's in your best interest. Sometimes, like after you have done your combo and everything and you're fully charged, just start to use the fully charged to your advantage. Don't lose that charge. Yep, get it up, get it up. There you go. Walk forward with confidence. You're the tank. You need to dictate that space. Attack who you can. You're backing up here when you have health and you don't need to play a little bit more confident, knowing that Thor is not there yet.
I suppose that helped. Your mind is mine.
Right here in this instance, put your shield not in front of you, but between the healers and things so you can block the heals from reaching him. Bit of a waste of diamond form. In that situation, just break the let go of the diamond form because you're just meleeing nothing here in the air, right? You're not gonna be able to reach. Let go of the diamond form, go right back to doing damage again.
We are undefeatable.
Mantis is ulting, give up space.
Suppose that helped.
Luna's ulting, take the space back. Shoot past and get the supports. There you go.
Behold the god of thunder!
You lost one.
Your mind is mine.
You're at 100 charge. Try and get those picks. You're losing charge. Yeah,
I was fine. Thank you.
try to focus on making sure you keep your charge up because you get so much more powerful at 100 charge. In those instances where you can't find the Spidey, it's best just to like prioritize like walking forward to keep your charge up. You also have your ult here. You really want to use it quick because they're way overextended. Okay, now that they use that ult, you can give up space for temporarily. Now you can use it. Press Q. Q.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
Wasted time. You're not going to be able to catch the Spidey. This right here is sort of like a good thing to highlight. Like as you climb higher, you will recognize when your time is not being used efficiently. And you know that like you hit diamond form to try and like, I see like when Spidey was ulting to try and hit him with the grab. But the moment you figured out he was too far away, that was your moment that you needed to be like, this isn't going to work and go right back to doing something else.
You never had a chance.
Fight their control.
Only 60 seconds left.
Use your shield more often to separate the healers from the rest of the team. That was an okay ult. You got a kill out of it. One of them was the support. There you go.
30 seconds.
I want you to point out though that the reason why that was so much easier than it was in all the other times is because of the fact that they only had one support because you ulted. You just held your ult for too long and you didn't get value out of it when it's like there was a lot of opportunities in which you could have used it to try and secure kills as their team was overextended without cover that you need to not hesitate on, right? Like recognizing when it's time to use that ult is going to be monumental for climbing.
There's no time left. Attack.
Where am I?
Got 3 on. Yeah, they can't touch it. Not without dying for it.
We must confront Dracula at this citadel.
I didn't think that Spider-Man was going to get, I'm not going to lie.
I was fine.
Behold the god of thunder!
There you go. Get the mantis, get the mantis. Yep, shoot past, get the mantis. There you go. They're live. Get that charge to full. Oh! There you go. Sit behind cover and get healed. Doors on point. Nice. Good job staying alive. And you canceled? Yeah, you canceled the ult. Because he still has 50% of it. There you go. Take that space. Have confidence. Hey. The Invis woman ulted for some reason. That's a choice. Now get her. Nice. Turn it off. There you go. Right back out and attacking. There you go. There, that was really good. You pulled the diamond form out of him, and then you started to try and position yourself in a way where you were hitting him and the diamond form at the same time. That's really good.
You deserve that, dear.
No
Walk forward. Block shots off. Nice.
That helped.
Dracula's castle is my next
You are keeping them staggered.
fire my agent.
You diamond.
Only 60 seconds left. Shields up.
I don't think we needed that invisible woman ult, but it happens. Shoot past. Good job finding her.
Some enemy. Exquisite. I suppose
You could have just kept shooting her.
You need me.
When they're that low, you don't have to use your diamond form just in case you might need it. You don't. I highly doubt you will need it, but this is a dangerous spot because of the fact that let's take a look at what your supports see, huh?
Behold
So supports there.
the
Other
god
one
of
is here. Yeah. So now you have to retreat back out. This is the reason why we hold outside around this corner instead of inside. Because the moment you walk inside and you're behind here, then what you're going to do is you're going to bait your supports into thinking they need to walk up to save you. And then they're going to end up dying for it. So be careful for that. Knowing the choke points and the safest place to stand is huge. Good kill. People on the payload. You go up and demand space.
You made me angry.
You're chasing, don't chase. She already had a head start on you. I don't know what she's doing.
We must confront Dracula at this citadel.
I suppose that helped.
It's a good kill, but
We are
I don't think you needed to be there. That's one of those situations where it's better for you to control the space and to keep them going towards the convoy than it is for you to chase and get the kill because of the fact that an invis woman on your backline is not going to do a whole lot. So leave her alone and take the space up here because of the fact that you are the solo tank. You need to dictate that space, especially around the objective. And because you weren't there, like Bucky then starts to take the objective or take the damage as the defaulto tank because he's the only one on the ground and up front.
How embarrassing.
Get your ult and then hit it. Wait, no, you're not close yet. Play super safe. There you go. This is good targeting the Mantis as she was outside the ult. Hit that. Oh, stay alive, stay alive, stay alive. Hit the ult, hit the ult, hit the ult. You're hesitating too long. Don't chase. Objective. If you don't have like some sort of like mobility or something, like don't chase. Just inform your team of where they're at and hope that someone else can take care of them because of the fact that you have a job to do, especially being the solo tank, that you dictate and you control that space.
The battle starts in 5, 4.
Oh, this is held up super close.
All you need to do is capture the mission area.
This is interesting. This is a choice.
Got it?
This is difficult because of the fact that while that is a good kill, as the enemies come out, they have an easy way around to get an off angle here. And there's a lot of different ways in which they can play this front area up here. The reason why a lot of people tend to hold really far back at this choke here is because this is sort of like the safest place, right? If you have an Amor, he sits up top and he holds up this space. If you have an Iron Man, he could hold over here on this side. And you force everyone else, like the tanks especially, who are obligated to be on the ground, into this singular choke area, right? You're trying to think of it as like, how can I funnel the enemies into a certain area? Just like on that third point, how there's that, I told you there's that choke that you don't want to stand too far in the room because then you'll bait your supports in there. This is the same idea of like everyone's going to funnel into this one area. So you want to be at the point where it funnels in. And that's the area you want to hold. As you climb, this area up here is going to be so close to their spawn door, especially because of the fact that because it's so close to their spawn door, not only is it more dangerous, but they respawn, and in 9 seconds, they're immediately back in the same position they were at before. So, whereas if they had to walk forward, then you kill them, and they go back to spawn, and it takes them 20 seconds to get back. You see what I mean? We'll see how this goes, though.
That was fine. Thank you.
A nice deep breath.
Oh, man. This is... You're down one now, so you have to be really careful. You're going to lose a lot of your support. You're pushing too far with the only one support, you're going to die. Yep. The moment you saw your support get picked, that's when it was time to leave. But let's see. I'm going to show you. I have predictions as to what happened there.
Invited guest. I got you covered. Force burst. I got you covered. I was fine. Thank you.
She gets pulled in. And this is why. This is why we don't hold up this close, is because of the fact that Bucky here was able to get a really easy off angle, and your team was able to get surrounded. So even though you were holding this area where the tank and the supports were, the tanks were tanking all the damage, which is what tanks do best. And then we leave it up to the DPS to sort of hold the off angles, which they weren't really doing. They were all holding in the same area, and everybody's focused on the same spot instead of like, and all it took was one DPS to off angle and create an opening. And the moment he got that first pick, your entire team is going to fall over. So you don't want to bait your team into situations in which they can get off angle easily. As a tank, you want to try and control that space and dictate where the fight is going to be taking place and not die, but also keep your teammates alive. This was a situation where your entire team was like, we're going to hold up. And nobody had the idea of being like, well, what happens if we get surrounded on our left and right? So even though, let's see, even though Thor is dead in this instance, it doesn't matter because there goes your other support. There goes you. And now there goes Namor. In this situation, let me take a look here. So their Bucky is 6 and 5, right? Not super great. But because he was the one that got that first pick, that's all that mattered. Any of the other kills that happened after that, like, hardly mattered at all. It was all because Bucky went to the side, created a pick on that first support, and the rest of the team fell over. This is something I really want to make a video on, but like, you know, we look at the stats and we look to see like there could have been other people in that fight who got, you know, 3 or 4 kills after that first initial kill, right? But ultimately, the reason why the whole team fell over was because that first initial kill. And that was just the Bucky. The Bucky got 1 kill on 1 support, which means that you guys don't have the sustain to hold that choke any longer. You're surrounded and your whole team's going to fall over. In those situations, like, you know, that first pick is everything. And now because of the fact that you were holding a much more dangerous choke, it made it much easier for the enemy team to get that first pick.
That vehicle to its destination.
So here now the convoy is moving. This is good. You're playing around the cover. You have a health pack to your right in case you need it. They're going to try and pressure you. Stay alive, and then ult. You ready to ult? Oh wait, never mind. Iron Man ulted. Ult now? There you go. My hesitate a little too long there. Did I mistime the Invisible Woman ult? I thought that was 6 seconds. Oh, it's 8, isn't it? No, it's 10.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
I might need to look that up. But yeah, you want to try and time your ult so immediately it follows up like right afterwards. Your team is going to get surrounded on right now. You have people coming out of spawn still. You have health and you're not playing super brave about it, which means that like your team is also not going to be super brave. Yeah, you're down 1, but you walking back and then you walk in and you're very unsure as to where you want to go, but that payload is about to push up and you have to get on that point to touch it. And you see that Bucky has an ult, but he's not going to be the first to engage. Like, tanks dictate the space. Tanks don't really secure as many kills, but without a good tank controlling that space and holding that objective, DPS can't get kills. And since you have 3 DPS, there's a lot of pressure on you to not only dictate that space, but also stay alive. And in this instance, while you have health, you need to be walking forward with it and putting your shield in an area where you can shield dance between it and hold that objective. Because now, because the enemy supports had used their ults previously, so you know that they didn't have them. And you had a Bucky with ult. To try and keep them from capping that second point, you needed to walk forward onto that point using your health and try and stall the objective and hope that your Bucky can make a play.
Vehicle reached a checkpoint. Keep up the momentum.
You're playing really far back as the tank, and your team is going to play far forward. This is also a problem with the fact that there's only a singular tank. When there's only one singular tank, that makes the game really difficult going up against a team that's got 2 tanks. The 2 tanks can dictate a lot more space than the other tank, but that means that like you have to be really good at sort of like commanding that space solo and knowing how to push in and when to push back out. And right now you play sort of very passively. Like you need to be a lot more confident in your abilities and being able to push in, take a lot of damage, and then get out alive. Because the more damage and abilities and stuff that you can absorb and still survive and get back and then get healed up and then go back in, the better. There you go. Walk in with confidence. Walk in with confidence. They're down 2. Walk in, walk in, walk in. Yeah. When they're down 2 like that in your tank, like you have full health. You need to walk in there and really command that space. There you go. Shoot past and get the support in the back. There you go. Shoot the support. There you go. Keep going. Applying that pressure. Using that cover. There you go. See? Like that. Command that space. Command that space. Hold that objective. This is what you should be doing. She's ulting. You need to go in there. Like, when she's ulting, you basically can't die. She's going to back you up. So just, like, follow that damage. But now it's going to run out, and you play passively. Invisible Woman's... Map change. Fun times. Ooh, I saw the vision. Back up. Ult, 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 ult. Might work out. Still working out. Okay. Thank goodness it worked out. Yeah, don't be afraid to, like, you know, it's probably better you didn't ult there and then you used the advantage of the cloak and dagger ult to secure the kills, but don't be afraid to like pop your ult and get those kills secured, because a lot of times people end up not using their ultimates and then they die with them, and it's like I've seen people where it's just like you could have had 2 or 3 ultimates in the time that it took you to use one. Like, you know, don't be afraid to use those ults to try and secure those fights, secure those picks. Like you did on the first, on offense, on the second point, where you use your ultimate just to kill the Johnny Storm, so that way you could keep them staggered and keep the objective rolling. Just like that. If she enters diamond form, does she get knocked up? She doesn't, right? Like, I don't know, but that might be a counterplay to that. Kill those girls. They're down, so push up. You have a lot more confidence on this third point than you do on than you did on the second point. Squirrel girl to your left, you can hear her. You're falling back to regroup with your team, and as the tank, you like when you hear the squirrel girl footsteps, you should be walking through there to pincer in on them, right? She's probably not going to be able to kill you, at least not super easily, and she's not going to burst you being the tank and all. So like, as your team is shooting from this direction, you should be pushing her out in this direction, to where even if you can't necessarily like kill her, other people are going to be able to follow up, where you're going to push her into a position where somebody else can kill her. That's what tanking will do, is like you want to be able to push and pull the enemy into directions you want them to be. You're like a sheep herding dog. You're just like, I'm going to push you all over here. I'm going to push you all over here. Like, so now we know that they're down 1, so they're going to have to play passive. That was nice. Shield and block the heals. Look at, she's in this room, so if you put a shield up in this doorway, you block cloak and dagger from healing, or you force her to walk out into the open and put her in a position in which you can kill her. all too often people just like don't block the heals. It is much easier to block the heals from the healers than it is to try and kill the healers a lot of times. He got 2, which means that it's a pretty even fight. Not so much anymore.
So close.
This is one of those situations where it was better to ult to try and keep your team alive than it was to hold it, because then they're going to cap.
Frost never surrenders.
This is what I mean by like just hit your ult, try and keep yourself in the game. Because you didn't ult, then you died with your ult, and they're going to take the objective anyway. Like you need to find an opportunity where even if it's not necessarily the best, most beneficial moment to ult, like it's better to ult and try and make a play than it is to like lose the objective and lose the game. This is why a lot of times like I want to try and use my ult in ways where I can get the advantage ahead of time or earlier, cause a stagger, get a single person, or even just peel someone. Like if my team is getting attacked, if I can ult and I can pull them off of my team, then at least that's something. Maybe I give them a few more seconds in which they need to survive. Like a lot of people don't understand. It's just like it's only a few seconds that sometimes you need in order to survive in these games. Like that's the reason why like when buffs and nerfs happen, they're adjusting, you know, seconds or you know, tiny increment amounts, because the moment you adjust even the tiniest increment amount, it changes the win rate like 5%.
People think they can see right through me. I bet you've heard that before too, Emma.
Men have said as much. I prove them.
So even if you can't use your ult to secure a kill, you can use your ult to basically CC the enemy and pull them off of your team.
Let me say you are a true gem. The battle starts in 5,
You're definitely
4,
more.
3, 2,
About being
1. You have to stop them from securing the mission area. Only 60 seconds left.
Walk up, walk up. Command space. There you go. You're full health. Keep attacking, keep attacking. Get to full charge. Use that cover. There you go. There you go. Full charge. Backing up with less health. There you go. There you go. Thor's behind. Go, go. There you go. Play aggressive on the Atom now. He's overextended. There you go. There you go. Nice. Don't die. You walk forward. You still gotta walk forward. You still gotta touch. You gotta touch. You gotta touch. You gotta touch. You're the tank. There's Squishy there.
I was fine, but thank you. Did you even
Now they're just trickling. They're not gonna touch. There's no one that can come in that room. You should be looking up. Bucky's on the left. Someone's gonna need to be on the payload, I think. Find an opportunity to ult. Find an opportunity to ult. Just hit it. Yep. You hesitate too long on like using your ult, waiting for like the most opportune moment, and the opportune moment is sometimes just immediately in order to like secure those kills. Like there's too many times like you hesitate a little bit too long, or you wait and it's you end up losing the objective, because losing the objective while still having ult up. It was a good cap still, but like on offense there, like you're still lacking confidence in tank. Like knowing how much you can push up and take damage and pull back out and applying that pressure. and staying alive, because there's a lot of times where like you have health, you have abilities, and you're playing a bit too passive. And you should be using, like, yes, like I said, you should be using your shield to like separate the heals away from the enemy tank.
5, 4, 3, 2.
I'm playing back a little bit farther, which is good.
Got it.
Yeah. See how many off angles you're getting hit by here? And look as see there how like you take a crap ton of damage as you back up and they're pushing you back. That's what happens when you're pushed out in that open area instead of being behind like this area here. Because you take so much damage, they force you back into a position in which you then have to sort of regain your momentum. And this area here, that's what happens when you are funneling them into this area.
Leave it to me.
Good. You're getting staggers. They're down 1, 2. Ooh, clean. Now they're going to fully regroup. He's dead. Back up for sure. You are down 1. You need your team. Yes, this is the safe choke. Giving up space temporarily while pumping damage into the enemy, waiting and buying time for your 6th player to get back is the right play. This is much, much better. Like, you're playing much smarter. This location's a lot easier to defend, especially considering you have a name more. There you go. Now they're down 1. See how the more you keep pulling them into this area, this danger zone of yours, the more of an advantage you have. Uh-oh. And what happens when you walk too far out of that zone where you can funnel them?
You can't be rid of me so easily, I'm afraid.
Down to 30 seconds. We're so close.
Don't touch it. You have 1 fight, and that's going to be right directly on the payload.
Vehicle to its destination.
Don't... right there. That's where you want to fight that. Now your team's going to panic. Not really much to say here at this point. Like...
You'll have to keep fighting until we have a winner.
Yeah, before the only way was like...
Do not let them win.
Before you died,
That helps.
right here, this is the moment I felt you overextending. Because of the fact that, like, your Luna had used her ult and Invisible Woman didn't have hers yet. Now, getting out of this situation is going to be difficult because there's no cover, and you got hung up on the geometry, which just sucks. And you were close to ults. Like, this is the time when it gets close to the end of the game, you're getting closer to ult, that you do not want to die, because the moment that they Invisible Woman ult on your head, you're just dead, right? And it just sucks. Like, you got hung up on the geo there. Like, I saw that. Like, that just sucks. Happens to me all the time too. But yeah, that was the only way in this second round here that you might have been able to do something. Because yeah, everything else, like here, it doesn't matter. Like, your team was staggered and coming back out, and they were pushing in. Like,
Final score 5, 2, 4.
there's not even any comments you can make on that in those situations. That's like when you're playing a game and you watch like 3 people on your team die in like the first like 3 seconds of the fight or something. It's just like, well, it's not going to matter. Like, there's nothing you can do. There's so many other things that happened before that could have changed the outcome of the game. I think that, like, on second point, especially, when that Bucky had ult, you lack the confidence to push forward and create that space. I understand that as a solo tank, it is extremely difficult to sort of demand that space, but it is up to you, especially in that role, to hold that objective, demand that space, and make that play. Because yeah, I know you guys were down one because Namor went out and it was hard, but like there was a couple of times where you were really unsure as to like where you wanted to be. You would like back up and then go back in, but by that time, like, you know, you're losing a lot of value in terms of your time. It's not being used the most efficiently. Like you don't want to go forward, backtrack, and then go back in again. You want to make sure you have a plan, a set direct route, and it's always efficient, and you're doing your best you can to try and hold that objective and and maximize your ultimate output, right? Like if you can use an ult to secure a single pick to keep that staggered, trickling thing happening on the enemy team, then go for it. Then do it for sure. If you can use your ultimate to pull the enemy off of your team, then definitely do that. But a lot of the times, like the reason why this game was so difficult for you was just the lack of confidence you had to sort of demand that space as tank. You did good at staying alive, which is really good, but also you didn't take enough risks in order to really secure the space you needed to control the objective. So definitely like go forward and limit test yourself the best you can. Like try to push forward as far as you can and demand that space, and then pull back after you take too much damage and keep trying to survive. Like if you're not dying, then fantastic, you're doing a great job. But if you never die, that means you're probably not taking enough risks and learning what your limit can be. Because yeah, as tank, what you really want to do is really absorb, a lot of that damage, a lot of that attention as you walk forward and demand that space. And then you can like rotate, get behind cover, get healed to full, and then you walk forward, demand that space again, and then rotate, get behind cover, get healed to full, and sort of keep that momentum going. Because I think that was probably just your biggest weakness, and using that shield to block off the heals. But ultimately, I think like what really hurt you in this game was the fact that you guys had a solo tank. The enemy team had 2 tanks, so they could just demand that space better. And they could demand it better. They could demand it easier. And that's sort of the thing is like, it is difficult to solo tank because of the fact that if the solo tank dies, the fight is basically over. So it means that you have to play super safe, but it's also really difficult because if you get focused, then, team is basically going to fall over. But yeah, I'd say that, that's all I really have for advice for you. I think overall, like you did really well in terms of the game overall. You didn't die a whole lot. You didn't feed in certain situations, but knowing how far you can push forward and having that confidence is something that will come in time. But that's going to come with limit testing yourself. And sometimes that means it's going to be taking chances and taking risks. But take more of those chances, take more of those risks. And remember, when you have a full health bar and you have abilities, like walk forward and demand that space, especially as Emma, because of the fact that if she gets close to you, it's scary. Like as soon as she enters into that diamond form and she can grab you and like just chuck you into chuck the enemy into your own team or immediately kill a squishy, like she's a scary tank up close. So you can definitely sort of demand that space. And the more you demand that space, the more your DPS can walk forward, the more your supports can walk forward, because when there's 2 tanks, it's easier to sort of control that space. But when you are a solo tank, you have to have a lot of confidence to solo tank and sort of push yourself forward. But yeah, anyway, that's all I got. I think that you played really well. Clearly, like there's a bunch of kills on your team. That's wild. But yeah, it's just sort of objective control that sort of needs a little bit of work, and that just comes with, I think, your confidence. But the fact that you can stay alive and you can secure kills, I think that you should have more confidence in walking forward. But yeah, implement those things and let me know how it goes. And if you have any questions, then you're in my Discord, hit me up. But yeah, thanks for submitting this one, and I hope you found it helpful.